Hey everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, and here on my YouTube channel, and this time out we have a real exciting plugin, something that came out by surprise. It actually blindsided me. I never would have thought a plugin like this would come out, but I'm super happy it did. This is the Blackbird BB N105, which is a Neve console, an 8078 heavily modified Neve console at Blackbird Studios. John McBride and the company over at KIT Kit Plugins have modeled the actual beloved 8078 Neve console. And this is super exciting. And there's a couple of really cool videos, at least as of the recording of this video, online where John McBride is being interviewed by Huart over at Produce Like a Pro, which I really like his channel as well. I'm sure you know, if you're watching this channel, you know about Warren's channel. But if you don't, I'll link it in the description box below. You can check out the interview that they did about this plugin and about some exciting coming plugins that may be coming out in the future. Really interesting interview. And that's where I learned about this first. And I went out to their website and I'm demoing it right now. You could demo it for 7 days, but I'm absolutely going to buy this plugin. This thing's amazing. So this is a channel strip of the actual Neve 8078 that's in Blackbird Studios Room A, Studio A. Really simple plugin, sounds really great. And if it's endorsed by, you know, Blackbird and Mr. McBride, then I got to say it's I mean, I've never been there. I've never heard that console, but if he's endorsing it and if he's getting behind it, then I would say it's probably an accurate representation of what that console really sounds like. But in the end, does it really matter if it's exactly the same? Does it sound good or doesn't it sound good? That's what matters. And so we're going to take a listen to this on some tracks. We're going to walk through the simple layout here, and then I'll link it in the description box below. I encourage you to go demo and check it out. Now, the link in the description box, I believe you can also get this at Sweetwater. So if I link it to Sweetwater where you can purchase it, that is an affiliate link, full disclosure, meaning that if you purchase this plugin or anything from Sweetwater using that link, I get a small commission, but you don't pay anything more, and it really helps me here at Home Recording Made Easy, and I really do appreciate it. And thank you to all the people who have used that affiliate link in the past. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into Studio One. Let's look at this. So here's the beautiful interface here. And it's really simple, nice and big on the screen, looks really, really great. And let's walk through it. So at the top here, we have our mic and our line inputs here, where we can switch from line level to mic level, and then the control here, okay, which we've done on a few tracks. We have a saturation switch that you could turn on and off. Well, why would you turn off the saturation? I don't know. Then you have your high frequency here where we go from off 3K all the way up through 15K. It's all stepped just like what's on the Neve. This is I'm sure exactly the frequency points that's on his console. You can make it a shelf or a bell here. We have a high Q here for the high mids. You can see the controls here. We have the low mids down here, third row down, and then we have the low frequencies down here where you have your bell peaking or a shelving kind of a thing. You also have a high Q switch here as well. And then you have your low and high pass filters down here where you can low and high pass on the same dial, which is kind of cool. We could turn the EQ on and off. You can turn the phase on and off or flip the phase. We have an analog hum here where you could turn it on or off if you want to hear the hum of the console and the electronics. And we have a hum level 1, 2, and 3. I have it on hum level number 2 for all of the tracks that we've done here. And if you're quiet enough, and if you turn up your monitors or your speakers, you can hear the white noise, which is what analog gear sounds like. And you could turn that up or down, or you could turn it off altogether. But again, I like using all that stuff. Why would you turn it off? It's what the console sounds like. It's the beauty of it. So this is a wonderful plugin. So now the way this plugin is really designed to be used, in my opinion, is you want to put this on all your tracks across your entire session. So it's like you're, running all of your singular tracks through the channel strip on the Neve console. Now, the way I understand it from the interview that I saw with Huart is that I think they just modeled one specific channel here, whereas I think John was saying in the future, they're going to do other consoles, other pieces of gear, and maybe also model this console where they model each individual channel, similar to what they do over at Plugin Alliance, where they do all their, they call it the TMT, I believe, where they modeled each individual channel across an entire desk, because as John McBride says in the interview with Mr. Warren, is that every channel sounds a little different. And we've talked a lot about that before here on this channel. The beauty about channel strips, when you model each individual channel is going to sound a little different depending on the electronics, the componentry. It's just the way a real analog console works. That's not the case with this, but I guess it's coming in the future. So the first question people are going to ask me, well, how many of these things can you put on your session? And is it CPU intensive? Well, let's look. So I have dropped this on 37 channels, okay? Now we're only going to listen to the first 11, the rest of them all down here in purple for copyright reasons and such with YouTube, to try to keep the copyright gods away. I've turned down all the vocals and turned down some of the other accessory guitar tracks. I just wanted to do drums, bass, acoustic guitar, organ, and piano, just so you can get a feel for what it sounds like. But I did put 37 instances of this on in the session. And if you look at my performance monitor, we're running at 22%, and that's the only plugins that's on my system. I'm running a 2017 iMac Pro with an 8-core processor and 64 gigs of RAM, so you can use that as kind of a benchmark. So if you have a lower spec computer, you may have a little bit more CPU usage here, but for 37 plugins, 22%, it is CPU friendly. You should not have a problem putting it on all your tracks. Okay, so what I have this here is on a drum kit here, kick, snare, hi-hats, tom 1, 2, overhead, and rooms. And this is no other plugins anywhere on this mix. I just kind of threw up the faders, did a quick balance. We have a bass amp, an acoustic guitar, organ, and a piano. That's it. So let's start with, and I've already kind of dialed this in here. Let's start with all the plugins off, just so you can hear what we started with the raw track here. So here's kind of the sample of this music with no plugins activated at all. Now I'm going to turn on the Blackbird. Just sounds amazing. Yes, it's a little louder. I didn't level match everything perfectly because I was doing this pretty quickly, but let me just show you a couple of the things here where I found it really nice. For example, like on the organ, let's just solo up the organ here. And where on this track, I used some of the mic line and jacked it up and then turned down the output volume. So like here's the... So that's before... with it, right? So I'm using the mic level and cranking it up a little and then turning down the output fader to level match it, keeping the saturation on. And what I love about this plugin and what tends to be notorious with Neve style EQs and other plugins that I've used, and I love Neve, but the top end tends to get a little brittle, a little pointy. Not on this. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's just because, again, I've never worked on an 8078. I'm not going to pretend like I have. I haven't. And I don't know if the EQs in that particular console are just smoother on the top end, or if all the modifications that maybe they did at Blackbird helps that along. But like something at 4K or 4.7K. I mean, you can jack it up quite a bit. Which is more than I would typically use. And it sounds great. And sometimes like on organs, like that kind of, that upper frequency, it could be really ear piercing. It's not. And that's at what, 4.7K. That would typically be very harsh. If you went up to like, say 10K, can you click you can see it's like a 2-pot switch here. You have the little white line here. You click on the frequency that you want. And then you have this green knob, which is the amount of cut or boost. There's 10K. I don't know, it's like 15 dB added. Here's the kick drum. Give you the other extreme on the low end. Same kind of thing. You can also boost the low ends and it doesn't get really flubby or too muddy. So here I'm just using the line level, not the mic level on this one. And where are we boosting here? Like 56 Hertz. I'm boosting like 12 dB. Here's how it was flat. And that's like 15 dB of boost at 56. Which is nice. That was the original kick drum. And after. Again, really, really, really nice sounding. Nice and thick. Here's the overheads. Here's another track where I boosted the, you know, pretty good. I used mic line, boosted it to kind of get a little bit of hair, a little bit of saturation, and just turn down the output. So here was the overheads before. That's the raw track. And that's afterwards, driving the preamp a little bit. Again, here's another one, you know, at 15K. That's, you know, boosted all the way up. It's too much for this track, but you get the idea. That's before. That's with it. And then in the track, here's bass. Bass is really nice too. Here's another one where I used the mic level, turned it up, get a little bit of grit on it, turn down the fader. That was the original bass. This is a bass amp, not a DI. A little bit of hair. Okay, boost it up. A little bit of 1200 just to give us a little bit of more of the string noise. Right, once again before, after. Acoustic guitar. Here's another one. You can get pretty aggressive with that top end EQ and it doesn't get that brittleness. It almost reminds me a little bit. It's a different sound completely though, and I know a lot of purists are gonna kind of, you know, scream at me here, but the top end of this thing almost reminds me a little bit of how the API is, where the top end is typically smooth. This isn't that round on the top, at least it doesn't sound like that to me. Again, I've never worked on an API console per se, but with API EQ and channel strip plugins. But this has that nice, it's got a little bit more bite on the top end than an API, in my opinion, at least on like things like acoustic guitar, but it doesn't get really pointy on this, which is nice. So I'm boosting 15K here. That's a lot of. That's before. After. That's before. No processing. Here's the snare. Another one I drove the mic line. Let's get a little bit of hair on it, not too much. I think I boosted a little bit of 5K here. Did a lot of boosting on these tracks just to see how it would respond. Again, sounds great. That's before. Again, back in the track. So that's it. I mean, this is a pretty simple one. I mean, it just sounds super good, man. Right out of the box. It sounds great. I would encourage you to go demo it and just buy it. I want to say I think it's 99 bucks. I think, again, don't quote me for sure. Go check out the link in the description box. I thought I saw it for 99 bucks. This is worth it all day at 99 bucks. Again, just across 12 tracks, 11 tracks, it instantly just makes things sound better. And it took me 10 minutes to dial all this in. And again, I did it pretty quick. You know, in a mix, you would, you know, throw these across all your tracks, start off here. Now, again, there's no compression on this because that particular console, I don't believe, has dynamics on it, at least not on the individual channels. So you would follow this up with maybe some kind of compression, maybe where you would need to, right? But just right out of the box, it sounds great. This is a great plugin. And again, I hope they do more of these, you know, model some of the classic gear over at Blackbird. I mean, Blackbird Studios in Nashville has the largest collection of analog equipment anywhere on planet Earth. I'm going to Nashville not too long from now, and I would love to take a tour of it. I mean, that's like, you know, an engineer geek's paradise, right? And so, you know, Blackbird has the best equipment and the best restored equipment is my guess, and they probably spend an ungodly amount of money maintaining and keeping all that old vintage gear in tip-top shape. And if they're going to start modeling some of that stuff and do some accurate representation, those will be really killer plugins. So I've never heard of Kit Plugins. Never heard of that company. Maybe some of you have. Leave some comments below. But to me, this one's a winner. This is a winner. And you know, I'm a big channel strip guy, and I've demoed all the channel strips by all the manufacturers. You can just go look in our archive there, and you'll see them. And there are very few that you go, wow, that's awesome. You know, and this one is one of those, wow, that's awesome. I mean, it just sounds great. I can't wait to do an entire mix with this. So anyhow, I hope you like taking a look at the Blackbird here. Again, I'll link Warren Huart's interview. I think it's really, really interesting there. And, you know, really interesting to get the inside scoop on what his thought process was behind this and why he's doing it and all that stuff. It's a really interesting watch if you're interested in that kind of stuff, and I just eat that stuff up. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if you have this or have you demoed it yet, and what do you think of it? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear it. So leave some comments below. Now, thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. I want to give you a couple of free gifts. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. So if this is your first time here, welcome to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Welcome to our family. I want to give you a free mixing course. If you head on over to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, it's a $50 mixing course. It's my gift to you just for visiting Home Recording Made Easy. Click the button. It'll be instantly delivered to you. And if you watch that course and you dig my style of teaching and you would like to take one of my other paid training courses on the website, you can use the coupon code YouTube25, and that will take 25% off any other course on my website. So thank you so much for joining me and taking a look at this brand new plugin by Kit Plugins, the Blackbird, the BB N105. Really, really excited. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.